This is Coming of Age, Episode 2. I'm Josie Herbert. In our last episode, we talked about some of the different barriers to orgasm and understanding the realities of sex. People learn about sex in so many different ways. I asked the people I interviewed if they remembered learning one of the most important things in sex, orgasm. Do you remember where you first learned or heard the word orgasm or learned what an orgasm was?
Yes, I actually have a funny, well, maybe not, but I do have a funny story about that. So,
this is Jean again from our last episode.
I was probably, I don't know, maybe like 8 or 10, and my dad would like drive us to school every morning. Maybe I was a little older, maybe I was like, no, I was probably like 8 or 10. My dad would drive to school every morning, and he would play his music in the car, and he played his music this is another music story. He would play his music like everywhere, and this song kind of came up a few times just in my life, and it like was playing in the car one morning, and I was kind of like singing along to it, and it's like this intense song by a band called Buzzcocks, and it was like it would kind of go like. So it basically was like, she's an orgasm addict. And like, so I was kind of singing along to this, and I was like, Dad, like, what's an orgasm? And he was kind of just like, oh, like, you'll learn it later, like, don't worry about it. And he like, it was just, I kind of like, truly in that moment didn't know what orgasm was, but I remember loving the song and being like, oh, orgasm addict. And like, I like kind of found the song a little while later in life after finding out what an orgasm was, and I was like, oh my god, like, that's what?
Lots of people told me that reading fan fiction online played a part in their early sexual education. This is Sophie again from our last episode.
I did read a lot of fan fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Also that kind of fan fiction. So that may be the first time when you read fan fiction, and almost every time it comes to the point of orgasm, so it just felt like it was part of it.
Yeah, just like another part in the plot that always happens.
Yeah, a good part, I guess. They all liked it.
An enjoyable part. Of course, one major way people learn about sex is from porn. Like the really mainstream porn that's out there, that like just free on the internet, is really misleading.
Mm-hmm.
So for a person who's never had sex with a person with a vulva who is like has actually had an orgasm, like maybe a teenage boy watching that will think like, well, an orgasm is writhing around and screaming, and it happens after 20 seconds of penetration, which...
Only penetration,
nothing, and then there's also no lead up to penetration. It's like, hello, and there I am, and then...
Yeah.
Which is far from the truth for most people.
Yeah.
Like, I would venture to say the majority of people, that's not how orgasms happen. So I think that can be that can be the source of a lot of confusion for teenage boys or pubescent boys, but also girls who think that their bodies are supposed to work like that, and who don't see any other portrayal of female sexuality. Porn can cause lots of misunderstandings about the realities of sex and of orgasms.
Everything that they tried, like I tried and it never worked, but it makes so much sense because like in porn it's just like, oh yeah, I'll go super hard, super quick.
This is MC again from our previous episode. Porn can also look very different from the sex real people are having, particularly when it's made by people who don't identify with the groups that are featured. What about, like, porn or erotica?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a startup. I like to read porn.
Yeah.
So I'm not very much a video person, because I think, especially with lesbian porn, it's all very fake.
Yes.
Just the idea of getting fucked with like 12-inch nails. No, thank you.
Wow.
And they're no, it's not the full fancy.
Mm-hmm.
They usually say like, I'm a big part of the gay community here in Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into drag as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about sex very openly because it's also quite a safe space. And everybody says like, oh no,
Yeah.
lesbian porn is made for straight people.
Yeah.
Nah.
It's good for straight men. 'Cause
Yes.
I feel like straight women wouldn't even know that a very long fake fingernail being inside you would be
Thank
really
you.
painful.
You will rip something.
Ugh, I don't like it.
No, but I read books and not like 50 Shades of Grey or anything.
Mhm.
But that's a stupid fun story.
Mhm.
I used to be part of COC. It's like the organ for gay rights here in the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
And the youth committee, and they were coming to our school, and I met these two lovely ladies. Like, they were married for 50 years or something, late 60s, who were gonna talk about sex with us.
Mhm.
Like gay porn and everything surrounding that, which was quite cool.
Mhm.
And afterwards, because I helped them out all day, they gave me a bunch of old gay books. So it was like the lesbian encyclopedia.
Encyclopedia?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Like a poems book, and also like this little booklet called the Tango Salon, which, it was all kinds of short stories surrounding lesbian sex, but
Wow.
how it would really go.
Mhm.
And I used it to get myself started. Let's just say that,
Mhm.
which I'm still thankful for.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get those things, there's not a lot of like good porn or things for lesbians out there, I
Yeah.
think.
It's so hard to find accurate or even slightly authentic depictions of lesbian sexuality.
I mean, I know that straight porn isn't like the same as straight people.
Yeah.
But it's closer and they have more. I can talk today, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
More kinds of categories.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
I mean, straight people
Mm-hmm.
are making straight porn,
Yeah.
but lesbians aren't making
No.
mainstream lesbian porn.
No, there's a site coming up though. It's called Lustry.
Mm-hmm.
And those are a group of gay, straight, just LGBT people in general
Mhm.
who want to depict couples as they are. So they use real couples, as they say,
Mhm.
also fuck buddies and everything. But usually there's one heteronormative thing off of them. So for example, a guy in tights or like things you don't usually see in heteronormative form.
What's
It's
that
fun.
site called again?
Lustry is called.
Lustery?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, this also comes up in all my interviews, like just feeling an aversion to porn in some way because it doesn't look like the sex you're having, or it doesn't look like the sex you want to be having, even a little bit. But there's this site called Make Love Not Porn, and it's just like regular people's like sex tapes basically that they upload, but it's it's not anti-porn, but it's definitely like, well, porn is a performance, it's theater, and sex can look very different from that. So that's an interesting site.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Make love, not porn?
Make love, not porn.
I
Yeah.
thought make love, not war.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like that.
That was Stacy again, from our last episode. There's a lot of truly great porn out there, and it's worth searching and paying for. However, the mainstream porn that's so readily available for free all over the internet can ignore the nuance of sexuality.
If you only watch porn, you would really think an orgasm happens after like 20 seconds of penetration and like no foreplay, and you'd just be like, hey, here we go.
Yeah.
Which just doesn't happen for anyone, really.
No. I was also especially surprised to learn, because I didn't know that either, that the way to look at it is that like
the vagina is not a sex organ, it's for giving birth.
That was Lola. Again, that's not her real name, and we're not using any real names.
And that men don't understand that, and also that like the clitoris is not just the small part, but apparently a big part of it is like inside your body, and I had no idea. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm a woman and I don't know this. I am 21 years old and I have learned something about my body.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be maybe also in sex ed, because where else are you gonna know that?
Doctors didn't know about it until the late 90s. Like, they didn't understand the whole internal structure.
That's so weird.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And I like what you said, like, the vagina isn't the sex organ, the clit is the sex organ.
Yeah.
And there's just such a fundamental misunderstanding around, like, where the center of, you know, female sexual pleasure is.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in the same way that, you know, because we want it to be as simple as penis, vagina, and it's not and never has been, and that would be so boring if it was. Thank God it isn't. Because, you know, there's just so much more diversity and variety, and that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
In fact, porn can completely mislead viewers to the point where they distrust their bodies. Lola had been masturbating from a young age and didn't think she had ever had an orgasm. She was frustrated and insecure about this until she was reassured by her partner and other outside information. She was confused by the performances of orgasms in porn because they didn't look like what she experienced as orgasms.
There's just so much variety, so why should anyone just watch bad internet porn? There's so much good stuff to get off with or just enjoy. Like, it's really interesting.
Though I gotta say, I don't think that the fake porn is a problem. I mean, I could understand how people like that, and it turns them on, but I think the issue is more with thinking that that's how it's in real life.
Exactly.
Especially for maybe people like me, because that type of thing made me not realize what an orgasm was actually.
Yeah.
So I think that's more the problem.
That's really interesting that you say, that it caused more confusion.
Yeah.
Like, the thing that is supposed to be an orgasm made you more confused about orgasms.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really interesting. I mean, you know, there's nothing inherently wrong, but it is important to know that it is a performance of sexuality rather than maybe an authentic portrayal, but it doesn't need to be an authentic portrayal at all.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not just porn that's confusing us about sex. It's also sex ed.
Did you have any type of, like, formal sex ed in school?
Yeah, we did the whole you have a banana and a condom thing. And we talked about STDs. But yeah, that was pretty much it.
So did they talk about orgasms in that context, or was it more like, these are the bad things that can happen to you if you have sex? Yeah.
More like the bad things, yeah.
MC's sex ed was fairly comprehensive, but when it came to the purpose of sex, it was pretty simplistic.
Yeah, the whole sexuality was explained. Like, sexuality is there because eventually you want to have kids.
Yeah.
Like, there is this little aspect, so it's actually pretty chill. But main thing is, going there.
Wow.
It's like a car, kind of. Like, you go in a car to go somewhere. But it's actually pretty chill. Like, drive a car just randomly, which is okay. It's not really good for the environment. But besides that, I think they kind of try to bring it that way. Sex is with a goal.
Thankfully, there is hope for the future of sex ed. At least in the Netherlands. Stacy, who as you remember is studying to become a teacher, told me this story.
I read the books now, they are way more complicated and more, how do you say it? Not as basic anymore.
So they're getting more comprehensive.
Yeah, because I'm not straight.
Yeah.
Which you could.
Gay
maybe.
Tinder.
Yeah, that's why.
Some not straight people occasionally.
No, I'm not straight, and they used to say like, oh yeah, they're gays and lesbians and bisexuals, and now they're talking about like transgenders as well and everything. So it's going the right way.
This has been our second episode of Cumming of Age. I'm Josie Herbert. The third and final episode of this mini-series will be available soon. Our original music is by Timothy Fox, and you can find his music at timothyfox.bandcamp.com.
Oh, we have a lot of words for sex and blowjobs. We have like 10 words for it.
Wow.
Like with a little winky eye. It's called pijpen,
Piper?
which is called like piper. Like piping. Yeah, I don't know. Like laying pipe.
Mm-hmm.
You have just sex, but we write it with K.
Yeah.
S.
Chaos.
What else? Pijpen. Neuken.
Yeah, that's one of the things we learned. We took a Dutch class, and like one of the first phrases we learned was noken and de koken.
Yeah, neuken en de keuken.
Yeah.
Yeah.